Today we're taking a close look at a motorcycle that's been considered the down-to-earth all-rounder for years, the Suzuki GSF 1250 Bandit. We'll see what it can really do in everyday use, where it shines, and which points become critical when buying used. This isn't about barstool myths. It's about real-world experience, from maneuvering through city traffic to long trips with luggage. Especially interesting is the choice between the naked GSF and the GSF 1250S with its half fairing, a detail that noticeably changes the bike's character on the highway. In the end, you'll get a clear verdict on who the Bandit is worth it for and who it probably isn't. Gern, mir fehlt nur der eigentliche Text von Szene 2. Bitte füge den Voice-over-Text hier ein oder lade ihn als Datei hoch und sag mir kurz. 1. Zielton, eher informativ, emotional, humorvoll oder Werbe-Trailer-Stil. Zielvariante Englisch, US oder UK. Dann übersetze ich ihn idiomatisch, natürlich und ansprechend. Instead of air oil cooling in carburetors, the Bandit now gets a water-cooled inline-4 with electronic fuel injection and 1255 cc. The result is a noticeably more refined ride, cleaner throttle response, and above all, much stronger pull from low revs. That punch is exactly what the Bandit has always been about. Straightforward, confident, no drama. At the same time, the model grows up. ABS is available depending on the trim, and the S version comes from the factory with a half fairing that adds real touring benefits. Visually, it stays intentionally conservative, but technically, it's far closer to modern standards than the Bandit before it. Gern, mir fehlt nur der eigentliche Text. Bitte füge den deutschen Voice-over-Text für Szene 4 hier ein oder lade ihn als Datei Bild hoch. Dann übersetze ich ihn idiomatisch, natürlich und ansprechend ins Englische. More important than any peak figure is torque. Around 108 Newton-meters come on early, making the bike wonderfully relaxed in everyday riding and rarely in need of a gear change. Depending on the source, output is quoted at roughly 98 to about 108 pow, but what really counts is the smooth linear pull. Shifting is handled by a long-geared 5-speed gearbox, which keeps revs low at cruising speeds. The chassis is built around a double-cradle steel frame that prioritizes stability over outright sportiness. The touring spec matches that brief. A 19-liter tank, strong brakes with twin 310mm discs up front, and a 240mm disc at the rear. On many model years, ABS is available. Gern, bitte sende mir den deutschen Voice-over-Text für Szene 6, Nachm, dann übersetze ich ihn idiomatisch und natürlich ins Englische. Wide tank, clean surfaces, hardly any frills. The Suzuki GSF 1250 comes across as a solid, no-nonsense tool. The steel frame is clearly on show without looking clunky, and the cockpit sticks to a tried-and-tested mix of round analog gauges and a small display. Ergonomically, the real highlight is the relaxed riding position, upright, with a comfortably wide handlebar and sensibly placed foot pegs. Seat height is around 790 millimeters, giving many riders secure footing. An important point when you're dealing with more than 250 kilos ready to ride. One model-specific detail you can genuinely feel is on the GSF 1250S. Its half fairing takes the pressure off your upper body and makes long motorway stints noticeably more comfortable, without compromising day-to-day usability. Gern, mir fehlt nur der eigentliche Text von Szene 8. Nach dem steht aktuell nichts. Bitte sende den deutschen Voice-over-Text für Szene 8 oder ein Foto-Screenshot davon. Wenn du mir noch kurz Stilvorgaben gibst, zum Beispiel Ton, sachlich, werblich, emotional, Zielgruppe, gewünschte Länge, du, sie, passe ich die Übersetzung entsprechend an. The 1255's inline-4 runs cleanly from just above idle and pulls hard. Ideal for city traffic, backroads, and touring. Despite its weight, it feels nicely neutral as long as you don't try to flick it around like a supersport. The wide handlebar makes turn-in easy, though when you're maneuvering at low speed, you definitely notice the mass. On rough roads, the more comfort-focused telescopic fork really comes into its own, while the rear shock's preload can be dialed in for luggage or a passenger. Range is solid too. With a 19-liter tank, long stints are absolutely realistic, and in S-Trim, the half fairing adds extra long-distance comfort. Ich kann das gern übersetzen. Mir fehlt nur der eigentliche Text von Szene 10. In deiner Nachricht steht nach Original nur: Schick mir bitte den deutschen Voice-over-Text oder ein Foto-Screenshot davon und gegebenenfalls kurz den Kontext Ton. zum Beispiel sachlich, emotional, humorvoll, Werbestil. Dann liefere ich dir eine idiomatische, natürliche englische Voice-Over-Fassung.